You ready, Monty? Are you looking for a simple, minimalist case for your iPhone 11? You know, maybe you're in the middle of decluttering your life right now, which also includes, well, your phone case? Now get ready to meet my favorite minimalist cases that will help you spark joy, even if you're not in the middle of Marie Kondoing your entire life. You bring me joy and happiness. I am going to keep you. Now, to get to all the products in the video, I went through my scoring system and filtered out every case that added more than 2.5 millimeters in terms of thickness to your iPhone. Now, surprisingly, I still had a large number of cases, so here's my top 5 recommended minimalist cases in no particular order. Spigen Thin Fit 360, the Pitaka Mad case, the 1521 Core case, the Caudabe Synthesis, and number 5 goes to the Peel cases. No, it doesn't. Number 5 goes to the later case. Psych! Did you sense any disdain in my voice for the later case? I'll touch on that later. Now, number 5 actually goes to a case that most will not think of as a slim case, but based on my criteria of only 2.5 millimeters thick, well, it is. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to cover all those cases that I just talked about, as well as touch on cases that I felt are important to talk about, might be worth considering, and some that are just totally you should stay away from. The cases I'm going to talk about include the Apple Silicone Case. I will talk about stuff from Peel, the Spigen Thin Fit, the Ballistic Soft Jacket, the Urban UAG Civilian, the Luau 2X Element, the Moshi Vitreous Bellroy Leather Case, the Pitaka Air Case, the Caudabe Veil, the Caudabe Sheath, the Tech 201 Studio Color, the Razer Arctech Slim, and the Ghost Tech Exec 4. And mobile reviews, eh? Monty and I base all our videos on actual work, and there's a secret that you guys need to know about the channel is that Monty does all the work. He is the brains behind the entire operation, and it's been like that for 7 years. He is the pretty face of the channel, and I'm only here because I've got opposable thumbs. Now, the majority of the cases in this video can be classified into 3 categories, with the first being a thin, semi-flexible polycarbonate cover, the second being a rigid snap-on polycarbonate cover, and the last being a thin, flexible TPU sleeve. Most minimalist cases fall into one of those 3 categories. And I'll be honest with you, these minimalist cases, they kind of infuriate me because it doesn't take much for a company to travel through the hovel of poorly made iPhone cases, take one, market it as something unique, and make a ton of money off of it. For example, this is a $45 totally case. It's got over 100 positive reviews on Amazon, and it is just a simple TPU cover that I bought for $45. This is another TPU cover that I bought for about $2 off of AliExpress, not Alibaba, which means I probably overpaid for it by about $1.50. So Totaly's margin is probably 40 bucks on this cheap case. But this isn't even like the worst product. At least Totally put their name on the box. I'll touch on that gripe later. Case. All right, let's get back to the deets. There's a lot of cases in this video, so if you want to use your time efficiently, make sure you use the time codes in the description section to jump to the cases that you want to learn more about. First up is the Apple Silicone Case, and the pros is that it handles well. A lot of colors to choose from, and Apple kind of cycles out the colors every once in a while. The cons is, why is this so expensive? Now, apples to apples, if you are determined to cover your Apple iPhone with another Apple product, this is a good choice. This case handles well, but be warned, the case has the best combination of grippiness as well as pocket pulling power. Now, I said it's the best combination because other silicone cases will literally rip the pocket out of your pants. Now, because it has the Apple logo on it, you are going to pay through the nose for it. So if you do need an alternative, do check out this ballistic case I'm going to talk about 5 cases from now. Also, I will say that the silicone case is a bajillion times better than the Apple Clear case, which is one of the shit cases I've ever used. Next up are the Peel cases, which is these guys. The pros is that they are super thin. Another pro is that there's no branding. The cons is that there's absolutely no branding, and they're not going to offer your iPhone a lot of protection. In fact, this is actually even a Peel case. This is a Spigen version. Like these cases, Peel's cases, they're a dime a dozen. Now, Peel claims to be the world's thinnest case, which might be accurate, but there's a handful of companies that produce the exact same product. Peel to me is the equivalent to the locally owned pizza joint that claims to be world famous. Now, the Peel case is just simple. It's a thin piece of cheaply made flexible polycarbonate, nothing more. There are so many other case manufacturers out there that make these types of cases, and there's literally no way to differentiate them. The only way to do that is actually to put some branding on the thing. You know, products like the Caudabe version have a tiny logo on it, which is good. It is marking that product as their own. Now, I get the no branding thing, but there are ways to put your mark on something without making it obnoxious. Like, branding is such a fundamental thing of like trying to sell stuff. Again, I'll touch on that gripe I have later. Next up is the 1521 cork case, and I'll be honest with you, this is one of the coolest cases I've ever used. It's incredibly unique, handles very well, and it wears actually quite well. It doesn't show scratches a lot, unlike some of these other cases. The cons is that it may darken a little over time, so it may change color, and well, there's very little protection. Now, honestly, cannot get how cool this case is. It handles so well because of the cork. Like, it's so grippy. Because it's made from cork, it's actually a little more environmentally friendly and partially biodegradable compared to most of these cases, maybe except for the plastic one from Tech 21 that's in this pile somewhere. Now, the tops and bottoms of your iPhone will be exposed, so at least get a screen protector if you are worried a little bit about the protection. Out of the hundreds, if not thousands of cases I've touched over the last 7 years, this cork case, again, is just so cool. And the great thing is that, well, they're on Amazon now, so you don't have to order through their site. Next up, it's the Spigen Thin Fit. The pros is that it handles well if you get the right version and allows for mag mounts. The cons is that, like the 1521 case, it's not going to offer your iPhone a lot of protection. Now, the Spigen case is your stereotypical polycarbonate cover. Why did I choose Spigen? Because they've done something different by hollowing out the back and allowing you to put a magnet on the back of the case so that you can use it with mag mounts. That is literally the only difference this product has over some of the other ones that I've bought off of, AliExpress. Again, at least Spigen tried to make it different, which leads up to the next case, which is the Spigen Thin Fit 360. And the pros is that this is the only case that offers full non-screen protection for your entire iPhone. It handles incredibly well, and it comes with not one, but 2 screen protectors. The cons is that it may not stay together over time. I've heard some people say that, and it does look kind of cheap. What would you say? Yeah. It does look kind of cheap. Now, when it comes to protection, the Spigen Thin Fit 360 is the only case that provides full non-screen coverage for the iPhone 11. Now, it's perfect for the person who is kind of paranoid about the occasional drop, but still wants minimalist cases. It fits extremely well with the 2 screen protectors that are included with the package. As I said before, fit may be an issue, but I haven't come across that just yet. The last cherry on top of this wonderful sundae is the fact that you can get Spigen's magnetic QNMP mounts. Like the Thin Fit, you just put it on the back, you can mount it. It nullifies the Qi charging, but since Qi charging kind of sucks, I won't hold it that much against the Thin Fit 360. Again, this is one of my favorite cases. Next up is the ballistic soft jacket. The pros is that this is the toughest silicone case that we've used. The cons is that the texture is way too aggressive. This soft jacket is probably our favorite ballistic case. They kind of came back for the iPhone 11s. This is largely due to the oversized corners. It just kind of helps with the handling and with the protection, which ensures that your screen does not have a meet and greet with the floor. Now, these oversized corners is kind of what contributes to the pocket pulling power of the silicone texture. It's got a really aggressive texture to it. So you might get annoyed pulling out of your pocket, which means that your iPhone is going to be very secure because you're never going to use it. Now, when it comes to silicone cases, out of the 8 that we reviewed, this is the best alternative if you can't stomach giving Apple any more money for their Apple silicone case. Next up is the Urban Armor Gear Civilian. The pros is that this is a different looking Urban Armor Gear case. The cons is that it handles like a wood bar. So although the Civilian looks like it may save your phone, it doesn't hold up well to everyday life from my perspective. The back is just way too slick and it handles poorly for something designed to protect a $1,500 iPhone. If such an expensive piece of technology is going into the hands of civilians, it's important that they're actually able to keep it in their hands. And this is a $50 case that handles seriously like a wet bar soap. It's a thinner case, slimmer case, is $50. Next up is the mouse contour, and this is the case that I consider almost a minimalist case, though it's not. The pros for this product is that it's tough, it feels thin. The cons is that, again, it's not your typical minimalist case, and it's actually kind of hard to take off if you're into case swapping a lot. The Mighty Mouse Contour is included in this list because the case feels exceptionally thin along the middle of the case. Now, for my scoring system, I do measure cases at their thickest parts, which is usually the corners. However, lots of cases have started tapering the middle of the case, but Mouse takes it one step further, is that they taper the edge of the case as well as the back of the case. And that small design feature reduces the contact area for your finger so much that it almost fools you into thinking that the case is less protective than it is, but it's not. It's a tough case. It's a triple layered case, quadruple layered if you include the leather back. So if you need a case that feels thin but is tougher than every other case on this list, check out the Mouse Contour. Honestly, I love this case so much. Next up is the Smartish Kung Fu Grip. The pros is that it handles extremely well. It's decently priced. The cons is that it won't offer your iPhone much protection. It's just a TPU cover. Now the smartest Kung Fu grip case will make you think you've mastered control over gravity because of just how well the case handles. It's well-designed TPU case with great texture along the edges. I'll say that the case is also a smart-ish purchase, as it's a great product for the price. Honestly, it's about 24 bucks, which is $20 cheaper than this brutal Totally case. Like this, just... Now the Kung Fu grip has changed slightly over the years. The Smartish has added a series of subtle bumps along the edge of the case, which adds even more to the handling of the case. It actually makes the case feel solider. I know it's not a word, but you know, you get it. It's solider. Next up is the Lowit UX Elements case. There's a bunch of these ones, but if you're thinking about getting a Lowit case, don't. The pros is that the case does look cool. The cons is that it handles incredibly poorly and the marketing is brutal. Oh, and the fit of this product is terrible. Now, while this case looks like it's made from marble, it actually handles like marble and kind of feels like it too. The smooth back and the slick edges makes this entire iPhone in this case hard to handle. Now there are some cool designs, but I cannot get over the over-the-top marketing. Like this product claims to protect your iPhone from 13 feet drops, and it's just a simple TPU cover. Am I going to test it? No, because I'm going to call BS on it because it's just 13 feet with a simple TPU cover. You know what really grinds my beans? My coffee grinder? No, it's that this TPU cover doesn't sit flush on your iPhone. Like nothing like wrapping your way too expensive iPhone with a case that doesn't fit on it well. Like there's a bit of give on the, like, oh. Next up is the Moshi Vitris, and the pros, well, and the cons is that it comes off the iPhone easily and it's below average in terms of handling. Now, while vitros is the Latin word for within glass, you can definitely see right through the Moshi Vitris case. It's got the same hatching as the Totally case, but costs a little less. The dot pattern on this case prevents rainbowing on the clear portion of the case. The pliable edges are incredibly noticeable and will increase the chance of your iPhone scratching to dust. Now the handling isn't entirely terrible depending on how clammy your hands get. And I don't mean clammy after you eat a bunch of stuff at Red Lobster. I mean like if you have very, very wet palms. And this isn't too bad, but I've got dry palms and this is terrible. Now, if you need a clear, poorly performing case, then get the Vitris over the Totally case. Your disappointment will be easier on your wallet. Next up is the Bellroy Leather Case. The pros is that this is real leather. It's very nice leather. The cons is that this is just a piece of leather wrapped around your iPhone. If you're looking for a leather case, the Bellroy Leather Case might take care of that, I guess, might satisfy that fetish. The finish is nice and doesn't feel overly processed, as there's still a good amount of texture and it's not 100% smooth. The microfiber backed interior also provides dust protection against scratches. However, the Bellroy Leather Case is just, again, a piece of leather wrapped around your iPhone. The iPhone buttons aren't covered, which makes pressing the buttons feel a little weird. In most of the cases that I've used or tested, they kind of have button things over the buttons, and so like it follows the contour of the iPhone, but Bellroy decided to do cutouts. So using your iPhone in this case seems a little off-putting because you're pushing a lot harder to access your iPhone, it feels like. So basically, Bellroy's kicking you in the face twice by having awkward cutouts and then disrupting the flow of how Apple wants you to interact with the iPhone. Now the edges of the case are barely high enough to allow for a screen protector, and they're actually very thin and noticeable. Now the Bellroy case doesn't score well on my system, but I'm not totally adverse to it. I do like the leather on this product, despite Bellroy's approach to the design is, you know, wrap leather around an iPhone, rather than Mouse's approach, which is kind of wrap a piece of really nice case around the iPhone. Kind of two different ways at approaching these leather cases. I like Mouse's approach a little better. Next up is the Later Case. The pros is that it's, well, thin, I guess. The cons is that it's a Pitaka Air case ripoff patterned by a YouTube celebrity, and it offers next to nothing in terms of protection. Now, as a warning, I am going to be mildly ranty in the next few minutes, so if you don't care about the rants, do use the time code in the description section to jump to the next case, which is the Pitaka Air case, which is basically what this case is. Anyways, I present to you the ultra thin, ultra chic, ultra luxe, the ripoff case. I mean the sell it case. I mean the knockoff case. I mean the Alibaba special case. I mean the get $10 after everybody gets mad at you case. I mean the Later Case. Now what bothers me about this Later Case is the lack of branding. Now I get why some people don't like to use branded things. Like during the days where I'm not making these videos, I wear a t-shirt that has absolutely no branding on it because I myself find branding obnoxious. But I still appreciate good products, And there is branding on the t-shirts that I wear. There's on the back, so if people really want to know, I could show them if I wanted to. Now, when it comes to the later case, I've done more to brand their product by writing the name on this nondescript box that came with the later case. I've done more branding for them by writing later case on this tiny piece of Post-it to put on the inside of the case, because there's no other way for me to tell what brand this case is. Now, for me, when it comes to branding, the bare minimum is that you put your name on it somehow. Even if it means putting in the middle of the case, on the backside, where nobody's gonna see it after it gets installed, that's fine. This is the bare minimum. Pataka's done the bare minimum in terms of branding. Because when you brand something, you are saying, as a business, that I care about this product, I care about the consumer who buys this product. The later case has absolutely none of that. Not even a piece of paper in the box that says this is a later case. There's absolutely nothing on it. Like, what does that tell you about the company and the guys behind it? Like, honestly, that's infuriating. Next up is the Pataka Air case. This is one of the best handling cases on this list. It's extremely thin. The cons is that it won't offer your iPhone much protection, and it's a little pricey for what it is. I understand carbon fiber is expensive, but that's a lot of money for this thing. This is one of the thinnest cases on Monty's list. If it was any thinner, it would probably be a piece of paper towel. Now, despite it being almost light as air, I'll say the case does handle fairly well. Now, for the ultra minimalist, the only thing that might be thinner would be a skin. The downside of this super light case is that it leaves the top and bottom of your iPhone exposed, and it has extremely low edges, which leaves your screen protector exposed. There is a protrusion for the camera cutouts, so that adds to the protection of the camera, right? Now, Pataka doesn't brand the outside of the case, as I'm guessing they realized that they didn't want that to dilute it from their design, from their aramid fibers. So they've branded on the inside of the case, which is, a great way to demarcate your product. But honestly, if you could spare the extra millimeters in terms of thickness, I'd actually go with the next case, which is the Pataka Matte case. And the pros for this product is that it has magnets in it. And the second pro is that, seriously, it's so thin, but it still has magnets in it. The cons is that, again, won't offer your iPhone a lot of protection. Now, between the Air case and the Mag case, I would go with the Mag case because it's a little more rigid. The Air case is just too wishy-washy for me. Also, you might be drawn to this case because of those magnets. It makes it way more useful than the Air case. Magnet joke. The magnets allows it to be compatible with Pataka's car-mounted Qi charger, but don't get too charged up about that because, again, it won't offer your iPhone that much protection. Minimalist cases, these things are just a paper towel for your iPhone. Now, if you are curious about Pataka's third product, the Matte Case Pro, do check out the top 10 iPhone 11 cases that I've done a few months ago. It's number 5 on that list. Next up is the Caudabe Veil, which is a super thin case and it's got decent texture for what it is. The cons is that it may stretch out over time, and I really hope you never drop your iPhone in this case. Now, just like your in-laws during the holidays, I have some thinly veiled commentary for you about your case choice. If you've chosen the Caudabe Veil, I sincerely hope you're very, very good to your iPhone. Now, this case is made for the ultra minimalist. It's one of the thinnest on this list, and it covers the entire edge of the iPhone. Unlike some of the other snap-on polycarbonate cases that expose the top and the bottom, your Caudabe Veil does not. The edges of the case do sit flush with the actual iPhone, so actual 3D screen protectors will be exposed. Now, the only knock that I have about this case is that it may stretch out over time along the button areas. I've seen some pretty rough looking Caudabe Veils over the last year, so that may happen with this product. Before we get to the rest of the cases, if you're finding this video useful, make sure you get your stuff through my Amazon links. This video is not sponsored, so the hundreds of hours that I've put into using all these products and doing this video, yeah, it's coming out of my own pocket. Okay, let's keep going. Next up is the Caudabe Sheet. The pros about this product is that it's got great texture and it's built to sustain a decent drop every once in a while. The cons of that, well, when it comes to a slim case, I don't really think there are any. Now, since iPhones are powerful tools that sit in your hand, in the palm of your hand, it kind of makes sense for Caudabe to build a sheath for it. The case is very similar to the Smartish Kung Fu grip in the way that it has great handling because of the texture of the case. Small accents make the Caudabe sheath stand out when compared to other cases. Now, while it's not the thinnest case, the thicker material means that it can handle the occasional drop. Just don't go out of your way to do that. Next up is the Caudabe Synthesis, which is the last Caudabe case I'm going to talk about. The pros is that it's the toughest Caudabe product there. The cons is that it doesn't handle as well as other Caudabe cases, from my perspective. Now, I've been using syntheses for years now, and they are some of my favorite cases, mostly because of this little bump on the back. Now, while it doesn't handle as well as some of other Caudabe's products, I think it's the toughest one. The raised back of this case ensures that the back of the case stays scratch-free longer. With the iPhone 11 versions, Caudabe added a series of ridges along the edge of the case, which kind of helps with the handling and offsets the slick back. Now, why do I like the corner so much? Well, because the little bump that kind of comes out. It looks like the back of Deadpool's mask. So apart from being functional, it's also kind of funny to look at and to play with. But it doesn't have the propensity to break the fourth wall. Now, if gaming and comics is your thing, well then I'm going to talk about the Razer Arctic Slim, 2 cases, 1 case from now. I have to talk about the stupid Tech 21 case first. The Tech 21 Studio Color, the pros is that this is a good choice for the mildly woke. There's an antimicrobial coating and it comes in a bunch of different colors, bright colors. The cons is that it feels very, very loose and it handles incredibly poorly. So if you're looking for a case that will offer some protection some different ways, the Tech 21 Studio Color may be an option for you. As an eco-friendly option, this case is partially made from plants. It also protects you from germs as it has an antimicrobial coating. But it's bacterial, I think. It's not viral, so don't try putting your Studio Color on your face as some form of protection against the coronavirus. The Studio Color doesn't fit the iPhone too tightly and is a little stick for my liking, but to offset all those shortcomings, Tech 21 claims that the case offers 8-foot drop protection. I have actually missed the days where everybody just said it was mil standard 810G. Now everybody just kind of says whatever they want. Next up is the Arctic Slim, and unlike the Tech 21 case, the pros is that the marketing fluff is actually true for this product. The cons is that it handles like a wet bar of soap. The Razer Arctic Slim is a very unique product and it's designed to cool down your iPhone while you game, and it actually works. Seriously, I dropped $500 on thermal camera to figure that out. Now, I tested both the Arctic Slim and the THX Pro, and between those 2 cases, the THX Pro is better because, well, it has a soft rubber coating, which makes it easier to hold on to when you're gaming. And the THX Pro, I think, is that green thing over my shoulder. Like seriously, I do not understand why Razer made this case so slick. It just bothers my mind. Cheetos dust makes it even worse. Last case I'm going to talk about in this video is the Ghost Tech Exec 4. Pros is that it's thin, it's modular, and it handles well. The cons is that dust may become an issue. The Ghost Tech Exec 4 is a product that won't leave you feeling, we'll say, haunted by your choices. Ghost Tech, get it? Now, when Ghost Tech said they were excited about the Exec 4, I thought to myself, like, you're excited about rehashing your existing line? Now, they sent me the Exec 4 and I was like, oh, you've completely redesigned it. And it's pretty awesome. Why? Because it handles well, it's thin, and it's modular, and because of that modularity, it's going to be the most transformer-like case in this video. If you need to remove a wallet case, but also want a wallet case that can stick to your iPhone that can attach to your bag mount, well, then get the Exec 4. Sure, it nullifies the Qi charging, but as I said with the Spigen cases, Qi charging kind of sucks, so not being able to use it all the time isn't a big deal breaker for me. The thin case is covered with a soft rubber coating that handles very well, but I will note that the back is slightly more exposed as the modular accessories have to slide into the cutout, so dust and debris may become an issue in the long term and may leave your iPhone in the least Optimus Prime condition. So that's all I got for this video. Again, if you found it useful, consider getting your slim and minimalist cases through the Amazon links. I am trying to work with certain brands to get you guys discounts, so if you want to get a discount, check out the pinned comments for all the ones that I've secured. This is like my 5th time recording this. Like, this new setup and the different cameras has just been terrible in terms of trying to figure out how to make things run smoothly. First time watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to please subscribe, produce content once a week, 4 times a month, maybe 5 times, depending on how many weeks there are in a month. That's kind of all I got. All right, Monty, are you sick of sitting there and staring at me wearing your pink bow tie? You look pretty dapper in your pink bow tie. Okay, let's go. We're done, I think, unless the cameras decided to stop recording again. So it's usually terribly cold in my studio. I went and brought home a heater from home. I set it to 26. It is so nice in here right now. Just about to start filming this video. Might get a little sweaty since it's at 26 degrees right now. Crazy, so awesome. What day is it?
It's Friday, January 31st, 2020.
That's right. Friday night at 9:30, I'm making you guys a video. I have no life. Updated the script and Google Docs failed to update it, so like I'm waiting for it to update. This is annoying. I hate Google Docs. Now let's see if this camera stopped recording, because it only had 11 minutes left and I'm pretty sure I'm past 11 minutes. It does not overflow. Like, it is mind-numbing that slot 2 does not work. Like, why is there even a slot 2 if slot 2 doesn't work? 9:54? Yeah, I've hit my limit. That's as much as I can work in 1 week. What time and day is it?
It's 8:31 a.m.
On what day?
It's Monday, February 3rd, 2020.
Well, is this going to be as painful as before? You look pretty cute. On to the cousin of the Spigen Thin Fit. Next up is the ballistic. You're okay. It's okay. You're okay. I'm not mad at you. Stop moving, God! So you were just grinding beans, and I just finished. So hopefully the beans don't show up in this video. But again, if you found this, I'm so sick of the interruptions. I'm so sick of. I want to answer this and just scream at the person on the other end. I really do. Marie Kondo. She always has like a very peaceful look.
Yeah.
You bring me joy and happiness. I am going to keep you.
Monty got so scared. Aww.
I was totally going to try to film this again on the weekend, but my family got sick. I'm still kind of sick. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a good go Monday morning. I got everything ready. The room is nice and warm. And I was like, oh, I have to go blow my nose. So I went to the bathroom downstairs, came out, and this is it's an older house, and so not everything's level. And so I just totally stubbed my toe, and I can feel my heartbeat in my toe right now. So it's a great start to this video. We'll see kind of how well this progresses as we get on, but let's do this.